All right, let's talk to our buddy Richard Davenport, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Was on a walk this morning with his dog. I got a chance to see that. RD, I know you always have time to ponder in the mornings. What have you made this week? Reaction from Razorback fans from Hunter Yurachek's comments of the Little Rock Touchdown Club earlier this week?
Okay, I've seen bits and pieces of that as far as the Little Rock Touchdown appearance. So if I missed something, please tell me. But how I interpret it, the third lane obviously is cheating. They're not willing to go that route right now. It sounds like they're considering it because of the lack of enforcement. I get that. So if other schools are cheating and adding to the NIL money that they're receiving from the House settlement, that's my interpretation of what he's saying. Don't have the finances to compete for a national championship. Am I hearing that right?
I think it's pretty accurate, isn't it?
Yeah, I know we haven't talked since Bryce Gilmore decommitted, but when a player decommits, my mind instantly RD goes to, well, someone else offered more money.
No, I got a very good source that he changed agents, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily the kid. When you got money involved, and it's amazing now how the uncles and the other family members, they're definitely more vocal now. They've always been vocal, but even more now with the money situation. So here's the thing that really just blows me away. We want people to tell us the truth. We want our politicians to tell us the truth. We want people of power to tell us the truth. Hunter Yurachek told us the truth, and it hurt. Mm-hmm. Do you want to put the careers of your coaches in jeopardy if they start cheating, and then all of a sudden the NCAA has a little bit more power and they're able to enforce the rules, and then you're putting those guys in jeopardy? Some coaches may say, "Hey, that's fine, I'll do it." Some other coaches may not. I don't know. I haven't talked to any of the coaches about that, but I'm just I love honesty, and I get that people don't want to hear that because they feel like, well, you shouldn't say that. Well, I'm sorry. I have issues with Hunter Yurachek. Believe me, I think he's done a horrible. Well, I'll just say he hasn't done a very good job with NIL pre-House settlement.
Yeah.
The last year and a half to 2 years, he had 3 different executive directors of Arkansas Edge. When you have no stability in an organization, usually that's a pretty negative. And I know big money people that no one reached out to them about giving to NIL, the pre-House settlement. And I've heard that multiple times from some very, very well-to-do people who should have been on the first phone call of people to say, "Hey, Tommy Kraft, hey buddy, would you like to give?" And they were never approached.
I gave at the office.
And you gave to the office.
I gave at the office.
It obviously helped them, but and then as far as Hunter Yurachek funding for the football program, it's bottom tier of the SEC. That is the fact. Coaches' salaries, as far as the pool that they give money to, as far as the assistants. Also, we talked about the lack of staffing for the recruiting staff. The money's going somewhere else, obviously, in the athletic program and other sports. I get that you want to have strong programs in the other sports too, but football is the number one moneymaker, and you got to be competitive. When Ole Miss is outspending you by quite a bit of margin, and when their revenue is less than yours, you have a problem. So I'm not sitting here saying Hunter Yurachek is, doing a great job. But at the same time, when people want your coaches to cheat, and while others are doing it, well, that's fine until somebody gets caught. And if you get caught and you got a family to feed, and maybe you're blacklisted from college football, you just never know. And they especially do that to the non-blue blood. We've noticed how if you're a blue blood, you really have to really screw up to get in NCAA sanction. So I don't have a problem with what he said.
Just a point of clarification, Richard, with what's happened with the revenue distribution and Trump's order and everything else. Like, is this going to take a year or two? Our NIL collective is going to be permanently deleted. Like, what is the new landscape, in your opinion, from a recruiting standpoint, supposed to look like moving forward?
I'm not an attorney, man. I mean, like you said, Trump did an executive order. I truly don't know. All I know is that House settlement, you're supposed to have, $20.3 million to divvy up to all your sports. Different schools are going to give a little bit more money to each sport than others. Mm-hmm. And that's supposed to be your NIL money unless the kid is able to negotiate a deal with a local business, and that NIL deal has to be approved. But other than that, you're not supposed to supplement your NIL, the NIL settlement. But obviously schools are doing that because of the lack of enforcement. And honestly, you can't blame them. At the same time, if things comes to a head and the NCAA all of a sudden has the power to enforce, well, can they go back and do something about some of the coaches that did break the rules?
It'll depend on who you name on the front of the shirt and the back too. So
I tend to agree. That's the NCAA has showed that, and that's why if you're Arkansas, I think you have to be a little bit more careful because you're not a Texas, you're not an Ohio State, you're not a USC, you're not a Florida.
But it sounds to me like we're willing to bend the rules, but we don't have the money to bend it with. So even if we're willing to get in that third lane, we haven't raised any money to make any significant difference with NIL.
I think they would be able. I think they could come up with money to supplement. I don't think that they're hurting that bad for money. And I don't
significant money.
I tend to think. I think if they use the NIL money from the past, say I'm guessing. I think it may be 12 to 14 million that Arkansas was spending each year on NIL, and I could be off on that, but I think it's a number that I believe might be accurate. I'm sure if they wanted to, they could continue to reach out to the people given to the NIL and say, hey, this Bryce Gilmore kid, and I'm not going to say that that's exactly what happened, but I have my suspicions that that's what happened. But I think you could go ahead and say, hey, Tommy Kraft or Ty Richardson again, hey, we need $200,000. Can you help us to, pay this kid because this other school's offered him $150,000. If we can offer him $200K, maybe we can keep him. Yeah. So. But I don't think that's that big of an issue.
For all the text we're getting and for all the conjecture and hand-wringing, I hear that Hunter Yurachek's just signaling to all the recruits that they shouldn't come to Arkansas. Listen, they're not in a championship forum. They're not on a championship. All these concerns. And I'm not saying they're – but at the end of the day, if you have the money that a player's wanting, he's coming to your school. So I don't care what the Little Rock Touchdown Club conversation was, 6 months from now or a year from now. At the end of the day, it's going to matter. What's going to matter is what's that amount on that check. So whatever said, it's out there in the ether. But as far as it being weaponized against Arkansas, Richard, I don't have a lot of concern with that because the money's all that's going to matter in the end.
Exactly. And if you don't have the money, you're not willing to supplement the NIL money from the settlement, you most likely you're not going to get that kid. But here's the thing. Here's another thing. Now, if the money is within, if it's competitive with other schools, and that kid really likes the coaching staff, really likes the university, really likes the area of Fayetteville, I think you can still be competitive there. But if it's $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 more, yeah, the kid's most likely going to go to another school. And the sad thing is, some of that may just be his parents, his family, or his agent, or whoever, kind of pushing him that way, even if they may want to stick with that school with lesser money.
Let me ask you this. Is there any uproar this week if they didn't lose on Saturday night?
Oh, yeah. You
still think so?
You can't lose on Saturday.
Well, I'm saying is the pushback, I think the perspective I'm coming from, do you see any pushback? Is it as heavy? Is it an intense at Hunter if they had beat Ole Miss?
Oh, it'd get worse. It'd get worse. And here's the deal. I mean, you were 7-6 last year. You were 2 or 3 games away from possibly winning, and the whole attitude towards the program would have been different if you would have won 9 games, and possibly even 10. I mean, if they didn't turn the ball over, and that came back to haunt them on Saturday. Turnovers. As far as I know, that was the only fumble of the season. I could be wrong, but I think they've been protecting the ball pretty good overall as far as that. But they came back to bite them. But yeah, I mean, if fans go crazy. That's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. And Hunter's going to feel the pressure. But at the same time, you would think that the board of trustees would say, hey, we support him in this area. We may have some issues in some other areas, but do we want to go down this road and cheat? And again, jeopardize some coaching careers and livelihoods of some of the coaches. That's the question, whether or not you want to go that route or not.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, HOGS, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.